What's up, guys? It's me, Hunter of Reptile Events, and guess what today is? Well, it's actually March 8th, but it's actually a good thing, because tomorrow is my birthday. That's right, we're on a Saturday. But of course, this video will be uploaded on Sunday. But anyway, I'm turning 27, so yeah, that's going to be my birthday. So, for my birthday, I'm actually doing a fundraiser. Even though the fundraiser was actually on Facebook, and it's actually sent to my friends, where I think only my friends can donate. But actually, y'all can still donate to my Patreon, and this kind of fundraiser thing is actually for a customized tank that I'm going to build myself. And this tank is going to be used for educational purposes. And you might be asking me what I'm going to put in this tank that I'm going to build myself. Well, I'm thinking about putting a mangrove snake in there. Yes. I've always wanted me a mangrove snake. They're beautiful. They're magnificent. They are really a great snake to have in my collection. I've always loved having a mangrove snake in my collection. So, and ever since I have Sparkus in my collection, he's been my most favorite snake of all time. But I love to have me a mangrove. I mean, a mangrove is a great honor in my collection and stuff. So that's why I'm actually thought about doing a fundraiser where I can save up some money to actually build a tank. Now, the goal is $250. So the goal is actually $250. So you can donate whatever amount you like. You can donate whatever amount. It doesn't have to be that much money. You can just donate any amount you want to put in there and stuff. You can come on Patreon. My Patreon link will be in the description box below. So if you want to donate, you can check out my Patreon if you like to and stuff. So yeah. So let's discuss some new things today. So yeah, news today. There's a new study about the Western hognose snake. Now, in my previous video, I mentioned that that bite turned out to be a bite was actually a allergic reaction, but turns out that was not an allergic reaction in the slightest. It was actually a real, actual bite of a Western hognose, and here is the picture right now. Yeah, pretty shocking, isn't it? From a Western hognose, and you always thought these snakes, if you get bit by these, it's just like a bee sting. Well, I'm sorry to tell you guys, it's not really a bee sting. Yeah, I know bee sting is typically venom, and I know it's basically a method that people use because when you get bit by a rear fang snake, people may think it's just like a bee sting, but that's definitely not really true. There's still other effects besides the swelling and the redness. You definitely do get some other effects like some necrosis, depending on your systems and everything. It all depends. It all depends on what you get from the bite and stuff. Now, I've been working with venomous snakes, and let me tell you, the bites are definitely not good. Even though I've never been bit by a venomous snake in my life. I've never been bit by a venomous snake. I've worked with venomous snakes, and you do not want to get bit by one. It's not a pretty thing to be bit by and stuff at all. I've never been bit by a Sparkus, but the good thing is, if I ever get bit by, I do have a protocol just in case. So yeah, even though the bites from him cause swelling, redness, and a few bits of necrosis and stuff. And he's actually almost an adult. He's almost an adult snake. He's actually almost 9 feet long. He's actually 8 feet long, big sack and stuff. So yeah. Another thing I should mention is that, well, on Reptile Report, they actually mentioned that the round pupil, to tell the difference between a non-venomous snake and a venomous snake, is actually a myth. That's right. The round pupil thing is actually false. Turns out there are some venomous snakes that have round pupils. For example, the hognose snakes. The hognose snakes do have round pupils because some people think they're non-venomous, but they actually are venomous because they're rare fanged. They actually have venom in them, and when I say they're rare fanged, that means they have grooved teeth in the back of their mouth, so that way they can still inject venom. But when it comes to rare fang, they actually only inject little amounts, and they have a very poor delivery system. That's how it goes with rare fang snakes. So yeah, So now it is true that non-venomous snakes do have round pupils. So I'm going to learn about a non-venomous snake. It was going to be James. Okay, Grace, you're going to move that away. Don't really need my hook for this guy. This guy's very friendly. Now let's get a little closer look at the round pupil. Here we go. Let's see if we can get that round pupil look. Now this camera is not really focused when the snake is actually too close to it. So you can zoom in. Well, you can try to see the round pupils right there. Yeah, that's the round pupil right there. Yeah, non-venomous snakes do have round pupils. Yeah, but that's not really how you actually can tell between the difference between a non-venomous snake and a venomous snake. It all depends on the species. Some people say to me that it's by the quaglia, but that's also not true either, because it's by under the quaglia, if they actually have a one scale pattern under the quaglia. But that's not true either. That only appears with vipers, because elapids, when you look at under their quaglia, they have a double scale pattern. So how can you tell the difference between a venomous snake and a non-venomous snake with that? How can you tell the difference with that? So that's not really a difference at all. So basically, the difference is on the species. Yes, the difference is actually the species. It's not by round pupil, it's not by triangle head, it's not by under quaglia, it's not by narrow head in the sleds, it's by species. So this video subject is about the myths about the myths, about the myths of telling the difference between a non-venomous snake and a venomous snake. And this is a non-venomous snake, by the way, people. So all those things you hear where you hear round pupil and also under the quaglia, and also triangle head and all that stuff, those are all myths, because there's a bunch of non-venomous snakes that have a triangle head. I mean, look at a python or a boa. They have triangle heads. They have triangle heads. And if you really think a venomous snake has a triangle head, then that's not true. And stuff. And cobras, if you look at them, they have narrow heads. They have narrow heads, and there are some venomous snakes that have narrow heads too. And there are also some non-venomous snakes that have narrow heads too. For example, the indigo snake, they have narrow heads, and they almost look identical. They almost look identical to a black-necked spin cobra, except the indigo snake has no hood at all. And speaking of the black indigo snake, at the Reptile I actually held one, and that was very awesome. The fact that the Alabama Herp Society let me actually held one during the Reptile and stuff. I have a picture of me. I can show it to you right now. Really nice, isn't it? So yeah. So basically, without theory, to tell the difference between a non-venomous snake and a venomous snake is by species. It's not really by the myths you actually hear, like round pupil, or under the quaglia, or triangle head, or basically any of those techniques are very much narrow head. So yeah, those are all myths. So yeah, it's all by species. So the only way to tell the difference between a venomous snake is actually their species. So when you look up their species, you have to read the descriptions to see if they're a venomous snake or a non-venomous snake. That's how you can tell the difference. And stuff. So yeah. And like I said before in every video, venom is venom. And rare fang snakes are venomous snakes, but they have a very poor delivery system, as you should know. So yeah. So this is actually about today's subject, which is actually the myths on venomous snakes and non-venomous snakes. Just tell you the difference and stuff. So this is just my video telling you the difference between a venomous and non-venomous snake and stuff. And these snakes right here, this bull snake, this mimics venomous snake. No, it's a rattlesnake. Even though the rattlesnake is technically a viper, and this is a colobred, and rattlesnakes have rattles, and this one doesn't have rattles. It has a tail, only a tail at the end. That's all it has. And it's a male. It's a breeder size male, and he's just shed not too long ago. Look how beautiful he is. Look how beautiful he is. He's a heat albino, and look how beautiful he is right now when he's just shed. It's a beauty. Look at that color. Bull snake cam. So guys, yeah, I'm turning 27, and if you ever want to donate to my Patreon, feel free to. That would definitely help me out to build a customized tank I've always wanted built me and stuff. Anyway guys, I'm Hunter out of Reptile fans. Thanks for watching, and thanks for knowing about the myths around non-venomous snakes and venomous snakes. Like I said before, it's all by species. It's definitely not by a triangle head or the round pupil eye or under the cliglia or narrow head or anything like those. It all depends on the species of snakes you deal with. That's it. That's how you tell the difference between a non-venomous snake and a venomous snake. You have to look at their species and see if they're venomous or non-venomous, and they'll tell you the difference between the two. But anyway, 100 hour for Tom Fence, and thanks for watching, and happy birthday to me. Today's my pretty much it's my 27th birthday. See you guys next time.